All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're jumping into a huge topic, AI. Specifically, we're going to break down what LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman thinks we all need to do to get ready for this massive shift, especially for students and anyone starting their career. So, let's get right into it. So what's really going on here? Let's kick things off by looking at the hard numbers, the stuff that's got a lot of people, especially new grads, kind of freaking out. I mean, just look at this chart. You can literally see the moment everything changed. The data shows this massive drop in entry-level job postings, and it happens right after tools like ChatGPT hit the scene. We're not talking about a slow, gradual change here. This was like a cliff, a sudden drop that you just can't look away from.
And Reid Hoffman's point is that this isn't some science fiction movie about the future. No, he's saying these job transformations, they're here. They're happening as we speak, and they're moving at a speed we've just never seen before.
Okay, so you've got this super fast change in the job market, right? Well, it's colliding head-on with a pretty big problem. Our current education system just isn't built to prepare us for this. The skills that are suddenly in demand, we're not learning them. Let's look at India, for example, a huge player in the tech world. Entry-level software engineering jobs, that first crucial step for so many people's careers, have plummeted by up to 25%. Think about that. 1 out of every 4 of those starting point jobs, poof, just gone. So while all these tech jobs are getting automated, you'd think we'd be doubling down on the core skills, right? Well, at the very same time, get this. Here in the US, only 22% of high school seniors are actually proficient in math. That's a huge disconnect. And that's really the heart of the issue. The world is demanding more and more high-level analytical skills, but our fundamental skill pipeline is just not there. And here's what makes this so incredibly difficult: the timeline. With something like the Industrial Revolution, society had decades, even generations, to figure things out and adapt. We don't have that luxury. We're talking about a few years, maybe. The clock is ticking, and it's ticking a whole lot faster this time around. Okay, so how in the world do we get ready for this? Hoffman's take is that the answer isn't just to, change up a few classes. It's much deeper than that. It's about a complete shift in how we approach our careers and how we think about learning itself. He makes a pretty bold statement. He says the most important career path of the future is entrepreneurship. But hold on, though. That doesn't mean we all have to quit our jobs and launch a startup. Not at all. It's about adopting an entrepreneurial mindset, whatever it is you do. So what's the difference? Well, think about the traditional employee mindset. You show up, you wait for directions, you execute your tasks. The entrepreneurial mindset is the total opposite. You're constantly on the lookout for problems to solve. You're taking the initiative. You're asking, what can I build or create with the tools I have right now? And the framework he lays out is actually pretty simple, whether you're a student or an educator. It's basically a 3-step process. Step 1, find a problem that needs solving. Step 2, use these amazing new AI tools to actually build a solution and create some value. And step 3, and this is maybe the most important, never stop learning. You have to be constantly adapting. All right, so if we're all supposed to have this new mindset, what skills and tools do we actually need? Well, it's a bit of a loop because it turns out the tools themselves are completely rewriting the rules of how we learn in the first place. So think about this for a second. If you have an AI that can answer basically any question you throw at it, what's the most important skill to teach a kid? It's definitely not memorizing facts anymore, right? That's kind of obsolete. What Hoffman says is the new critical skill is something called computational thinking. Now, that might sound complicated, but it's really just the art of the prompt. It's about being able to frame your problems and shape your questions in a way that a computer or an AI can actually do something useful with them. It's not about having the answer, it's about knowing how to ask the right question. And this brings us to the other side of the coin. AI isn't just this big, scary thing disrupting jobs. It's also, and this is huge, the single most powerful educational tool we've ever had. Hoffman puts it perfectly. He says it's like having the most amazing tutor that's existed in human history, and it's basically free. And hey, this isn't just some nice idea. There are studies coming out that show a student working with a personalized AI tutor can learn stuff 5 to 10 times faster than in a regular classroom. I mean, stop and think about what that means. A subject that used to take an entire school year to learn could, in theory, be mastered in just a month or 2. That doesn't just tweak education, it completely flips the whole system on its head. So what happens when you put these two things together?
When you take this new entrepreneurial way of thinking and you pair it with these unbelievably powerful new tools for learning, well, something pretty amazing starts to happen to what we as individuals are capable of.
Hoffman has a great name for this. He calls it super agency. And what it means is our ability to act on our own ideas, to make things happen, gets amplified like crazy. Think about it. One person with a laptop can now do things that, just a few years back, would have taken a whole team of people and a ton of money.
So in the end, yeah, there are going to be some bumps in the road in the short term, but Hoffman is actually incredibly optimistic about all this. He truly believes that even if we get to a future where AI is doing most of what we call work today, we'll be just fine. We'll adapt, we'll find new things to do, new problems to solve, we'll thrive.
And really, that's the bottom line here. The tools we've been dreaming about for decades, the ones that can amplify our own abilities, they're not science fiction anymore. They're real, and they're right here. So the big challenge for us, for this generation, isn't about finding information anymore. The challenge is figuring out what we're going to build with it. Which really leaves just one big question for all of us to think about. How are you going to use your super agency?